Says I'm live on the screen here. I guess that's right. I checked the obituary this morning. I didn't see my name listed. Here's a book I read some years ago. I just got it for reference. I lost the original. Teddy Roosevelt, youngest president we've ever had. Last president you could shake hands with. I think it was 8,240 people. Some uh, things you had to obey in those days, like you had to be free of advertising, you had to be sober and free of advertising, and you had to take a bath. And of course, that all those things that violate your constitutional rights. I have to give the credit to the author of this book, uh, Edmund Morris. Is also another Morris is quite a historian. But I've read 2 or 3 books on Teddy Roosevelt. Just all kinds of trivia in that book. For example, this is mathematically impossible. His wife, his mother, died the same night. Um, 2 different diseases, but the same house. That is mathematically impossible. I repeat, they were. It was both of them died of natural diseases. His mother died, I believe. In fact, I know of cancer, and his wife died what was called Bride's disease. And I think it's a childbearing disease. And so I like trivia, and I love the West. And um, my series, Happy Trails to the West, about people that I've read about, sometimes met, and places I visited. It's Happy Trails to the West. You can see it on here. And it's available for commercial use. Anybody that wants to, radio stations want to subscribe to me. Give you a great price, maybe $50 a week, and guarantee you a new show every week. But let's get on to some other things, some news here. Um, oh, yeah. Scooter, my border collie, wants me to thank you for best wishes and prayers that you're sending in. I think the old boy's doing pretty good here. We got him on a new diet. I walked in today about 5,000 steps, and I didn't ride with me as I went to the gym and a few other things. And in fact, he's sitting here right now, kind of listening to me um, talk to you folks. Okay, getting into the news. The Laker, Jack, I can't pronounce his name, is Teixeira. Um, that has met with outrage from everybody, I guess, except for President Biden and a few of his cronies. I probably shouldn't use that word. That's my opinion. But yes, it should be met with outrage. This is going on too often. Whatever, 5, 6 years. Manny, the other, I forget the other's name. And one of the common denominators, well, they're not, their elevators don't go all the way to the roof, and they don't have both oars in the water, but they're young. Now, this soldier was only 21 years old. He had the highest classification that you can be given. Now, no matter how smart he is, a young 21-year-old soldier, even if he was the purest person to ever walk the earth, just simply does not have the experience or the maturity to make always the very best decision. And they also say that there's over 1 million people that have security clearances to get high-level information. I don't think we've got quite 1 million people working for us, but it needs to be brought down. I know some of the people are, saying, well, this is treason. Death penalty is what's appropriate, but no, that's not appropriate, especially for someone that was just trying to show off and didn't appreciate or realize that the harm that he could do this country. So we'll see what unveils. He may be mentally ill, and um, if he doesn't know the difference between right and wrong, then a temporary insanity plea may fly. Who knows? Temporary insanity pleas do not work most of the time. The first time it was ever implemented was with, I think, General Sickle. Um, he lost his leg at Gettysburg. In fact, he's kind of a different person, maybe a wacko. He would campaign, hold up the bone of his leg that was cut off, saying, "See what I did for my country to get reelected." He'd been a congressman. But his insanity plane, he killed his girlfriend's a lover or somebody because he was in love, and he uh, uh, claimed temporary insanity, and it actually flew. Um, now, Europe has successfully launched a missile heading for Jupiter, I believe Jupiter, to study the ice moons around it. It won't be there for quite a few years, but so many other countries are getting into the space age and the race, and I wish them the very best of luck. And why should I do that? Because for people to say there's nothing in outer space, I say to you, especially us Americans, we need to go out there and see for ourselves what nothing looks like. There's information to be retrieved. There's perhaps minerals that can be mined. Uh, may not take a large quantities of minerals to maybe produce energy or a better quality of life. That's beyond my pay grade, but um, it's just so often. I mean, Europe, people didn't want to go across the ocean. Well, they actually thought we would fall off the ocean. Once we got the United States going, they didn't want to go west. They didn't think there was anything out there. Isn't it easy to make a stupid statement? Well, I guess if there was a president of that club, I'd be. Now, Montana has become the first U.S. state to pass legislation banning TikTok on personal devices. Look, until we get a better handle on China, that is appropriate. They're infecting our children. And you don't have to be a mind reader. They're not feeding their children the crap. And I use the word crap, and I don't like using bad words, that they're allowing their TikTok and US to feed our children. There is no secrets in China, so I think it's very appropriate. And I think the people of Montana should pat themselves on the back because I believe what they have done is an act of a good American. Now, I like President Donald Trump's speech at the National Rifle Association because I thought now he was more involved in our identifying our problems, and he already mentioned what he's going to do on day one. Uh, and I'm glad he didn't spend too much talking about the previous election. Now, I do think the National Republican Committee (GOP) they need to start some organization to show us how and who we should contact when we contact cheating at the ballot voting booth. Suppose there's only one person now, 150, 200 million people vote, only one. Well, what I would say to you, one is too much. Over 1 million boys and girls has died to give us the right to have a good, fair, clean vote. So we need an organization to identify that. It would free up Donald Trump's time to concentrate on the upcoming election. And when he gets to be president's time, he's going to have his work cut out for him. The last time he went in, we weren't having inflation, double-digit inflation. We didn't. We had an economy that wasn't really moving forward, but not it wasn't sinking faster than a stone in a lake. So he's going to have his work cut out for him this time. And remember, sometimes there's only so much you can do at a time. Now, Clint Eastwood is going to direct another motion picture. I don't know much about it for Warner Brothers. That's where hosted his Rawhide. That's the first time I ever saw a Clint Eastwood. When I was a kid, and kids were talking about it. I went to St. Aloysius and talking about Rawhide. And of course, Sam, you really loved him. I can remember seeing his spaghetti westerns, The Fistful of Dollar, at the RKO movie theater in Washington, D.C. And I'll see his pictures if he lives to be 192. And every time I go to see one, it will make my day. I will tell you a little story about Clint Eastwood, and this is true. When I was a tour bus driver, I was at Lincoln Memorial. I think we give those people at that time about 45, 50 minutes because they would see the Lincoln Memorial. The Vietnam was just on the other side of the reflection pool, and the Korean was on the this side of the reflection pool where we could park. And people would go on their own. And someone come back to my bus and said, Clint Eastwood was supposed to be here today. And I said, well, he's not here now, is he? And they said, no. And they said, but they got a big black screen at the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. And I said, what's that for? He says, they're going to superimpose a picture of the Statue of Liberty. This is the tourist talking. Well, the movie, we already knew it was going to be about the Secret Service guarding a president. And I thought to myself, I said, well, what kind of Secret Service movie has the Statue of Liberty in with the Washington Monument? So I went up there and I didn't know what those black screens were for, but one of the camera people told me that it was to block out the sun, things like that. Well, I no sooner turned around looking down at the reflection pool and the Washington Monument and all this wonderful day, and just the thousands of people coming in to get a better understanding and to pay respect to the most wonderful city in the world. And Mr. Eastwood, Clint Eastwood, drove up in a Cadillac, some kind, no fanfare, no police escorts. And he got out of the car and he had that slow, deliberate, positive walk, and he starts up the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Well, he got about halfway up, and a lady comes walking out with a book to get his autograph. And he so respectfully gave her the book. And I can remember this, him looking at her and thanking her. And I thought, here's a man that's a multimillionaire, very talented, and he always remembers who put him there, the public. So that was a very special lesson. I was doing some entertaining, rope spinning, and it reminded me, no matter what you do in life, don't forget who's paying your salary. Governor Ron DeSantis may announce, I picked that up, I don't know who I got it from just yet. I'm a fan of the Governor DeSantis. I think he's been a fine governor. He's shown he's got backbone. But his need right now is most important that he becomes Trump's VP. Why? Because he couldn't be a good president. I happen to think he'd be a great president, but we don't want to repeat our mistakes. Trump was in there for 4 years and unfortunately got voted out of office. What was the first thing Biden did the first day? He repealed all the great things that Donald Trump had done. Well, Donald Trump can only run for 4 years, so we don't want that to happen again. Assuming that Trump has a good policy that produces good results that every American can have some confidence in, or be confident in, that means the vice president will continue those policies, basically give Trump, historians will look at as 4 terms. And with 12 years of new bedrock principles in place, the next president would not be able to come in and undo his accomplishments. Uh, I've wasted, well, not wasted, but I used up 15 minutes of your time. And always remember this, your time is important to you, but it's important to me. I want to entertain you, I want to have fun with you, and I want you to keep sending Scooter letters. Just send a Cowboy Ron's, RONS, at gmail.com, attention Scooter, and I'll read them to him. I believe that's my word on that. Um, don't forget, Happy Trails of the West is available for any radio stations that want to pick it up, and willing to work with them. Great price. And also, my blog site's up and running well. And a lot of these news things I just give you a teaser on, you can get in depth on cowboyron.com. Until next day or so, I hope you have a nice weekend. The weather's great up here in Arizona. Good night and God bless.